Whew. Tired. Gotta clean this living room, well, what is this? Dining room up. Kids have had breakfast like 2 hours ago. And all their stuff is still sitting there. They had bagels and grapes. This is what I'm working on. Laundry. Sort them out. I don't have enough towels to wash, so those won't get washed today. Gotta wait till we build up some, but those are all 3 of the kids' clothes. Boy, oh boy. Wait till you have a 4th one. Gotta do all of that. Laundry. More laundry. Got 8 minutes on this. Spinning and spinning and spinning. And can't open it with my left hand. Let's see if my towels are dry. These are my whites. Oh, they smell so good. See how clean they look. They smell really fresh. That's what my washing machine mixture that I came up with. My washing powder is working out great. But anyway, let's see. Where are the kids at? It's awfully quiet, isn't it? Well, how would you have it? They're watching TV. Yeah, it's Friday. They're gonna watch Caillou with his annoying self. Guys, anybody else watch Caillou and think he's like the most annoying little kid ever? But anyway, they're eating their morning snack. They've had a bath this morning, which I did. But yeah, it's Friday, so I let them watch TV on Fridays. We don't do any homeschool stuff for JJ on Friday. He has soccer practice this afternoon, so we'll be out there running around, and we will walk to the soccer field because it's in walking distance of our house. There's like random stuff all over. Hey, Caleb. Hey. Okay. Hey, JJ. Come here. You want to go up and down? Go up and down? You got to put the car down. Thank you, JJ. Look, you want to go up and down?
Okay, here we go, Dad.
Here you go.
It's time to build weights.
Again? Again? Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Now you see my ready yet? Now.
Oh gosh. Again. Okay. Go this way. Yeah, you want to lay on your back? Okay. Let's watch JJ's airplane go off. Say fly away. Look at JJ's airplane flying. Say fly, airplane, fly. Are we going to Hawaii?
Yep.
Doing? It's It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We are walking. See, those are my feet. We are walking through our neighborhood trail to get to our neighborhood park where my son will have soccer practice. He's ready to go. This is his first soccer practice of the year. First game is March 8th, so we're really excited. It's a really beautiful day. It's a little chilly, but not enough that I need on a jacket or anything. But anyway, everybody wanted to know, can I still live a normal life with a CERCLAGE in? And well, I'm here to tell you that you can. Okay, so I'm walking. I had my surgery on Tuesday, last Tuesday. Today is Friday of the following week. So it's not been quite 2 weeks yet, but I feel really, really good. I had my follow-up appointment on Monday, and my doctor gave me permission to walk, do yoga, and Pilates. He said I can do as much walking as I please. There are no restrictions on walking. There are no restrictions on yoga. There's no restrictions on Pilates. I am doing walking and yoga, but I'm not doing Pilates. I just have to find a DVD that I like. I have one, but it's not a prenatal Pilates, so I'm just sticking with, you know, what I was doing pre-pregnancy. Every now and again, I will work on my arms because, you know, they can get a little flabby. You know how that goes. So anyway, okay, you know, I noticed something. I say so a lot, or I do this in my videos, so I really gotta stop doing that. But anyway, okay, so after you've watched all of those videos compiled of me playing with my kids, I figured I better come and talk to you guys and lay it all out on the table exactly how this CERCLAGE has impacted my life as far as raising my kids. So my first question that I always get asked about a CERCLAGE is, can you have sex? I answered that video question for you in the last video. And the very second question I get asked, they're probably like right there beside each other, but it is, you know, can I still raise my kids? Like, I have a toddler and I need to be able to care for them. I'm scared to get the CERCLAGE because I don't know if I'll be able to care for my toddler. Will I be on strict bed rest, basically, is the question. So I am going to go over all of my pregnancies with a CERCLAGE so you can see how different they were and like the different stages that I was in, and, you know, kind of give you something to compare to versus, you know, great thing about my pregnancies is I've had the same doctor for my first 3 pregnancies. Of course, now that I'm living in a totally different state, I have a different doctor. But my first three pregnancies, I had the same doctor, so I always knew what to expect. And he was great at explaining everything to me. When I was pregnant with Kenyatta, who's my first son, my doctor told me that I have an incontinence. Like, well, that's the textbook definition. And he's like, I don't want to wait until you keep losing babies to diagnose with you something that we already know. All of the other classic signs are there. And I don't want you to get pregnant and keep losing children before we say, yeah, you have an incompetent cervix. And I know that has happened to several people. You know, their doctors doesn't take you seriously. So I'm really, really blessed that my doctor said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to take this serious. And so with my second pregnancy, with my second son, I didn't know what to expect. It wasn't until, you know, like my first prenatal appointment that my doctor sat me down and he said, these are your options. This is what I strongly recommend you do. And he said CERCLAGE. So I went with a CERCLAGE. I was in school at the time. As soon as I had my CERCLAGE, I went back to school. I never missed a beat. I went to class every single day. It was like my last semester of school. No. It was like my semester before my last semester of school. And I had a full schedule. I did not work full time. I just went to school, And one thing that I did have towards the end, I started having a little bit of complications. And like my cervix began to shorten just a little bit. It wasn't dilating. It was just went from like up to a 5 when it was going down to like a 2.5. So my doctor gave me a handicap sticker, and they gave me special permission at my school to ride the elevator, and I had a rolly book bag. So, and I felt like this was high school, but this was college. And I took the elevator. I had permission from all of my teachers to leave class 5 minutes early so that I could avoid like the rush and to get to my next destination without feeling like I had to, you know, be rushed or anything like that. But I finished that semester of college. Had my baby in January, and 3 weeks later I went back to school and I graduated after that. But I took care of my son. He wasn't in daycare full-time. He was in daycare part-time while I was pregnant, but my husband worked full-time, so I was the primary caretaker, and not once was I put on bed rest in that pregnancy. So it can be done. Moving on, my third pregnancy. At this point, I was working as a social worker. I was not in school, but I worked full-time, and I had a job that required me to be up and down, up and down, up and down. I did home visits, so I had an office, but I never was there. I was always in my car driving somewhere. So I had my CERCLAGE with my third son. Was out worked for 1 week, but I didn't think it was a full week. That was just a personal choice. I had the time to take off, so I took the time. But I didn't need the whole week. Went back to work, and I worked. At this time, my 2 boys were in daycare. They were going to daycare full time while I was working, but I worked up until 6.5 months pregnant. When my doctor decided to take me out of work, my cervix started to shorten a little bit. Again, just got down to 2.5. Excuse me, my back is itching. Just got down to 2.5, I think, 2.5 centimeters. And he said it was because I was just doing too much at work. So he took me out of work. But I wasn't on like modified bed rest. I was on modified bed rest, which meant absolutely nothing to me because I still was taking care of my kids. Just because when I'm not working, kids come out of daycare. So they were home with me. I was taking care of them, and at this time I was living in a house with two stories. So I was going up and down the steps. I took care of my children full time. Okay, still pregnant, and I made it to 37 weeks with my third pregnancy. Once he took me out of work, most of the problems went away. But again, I worked up until 6.5 months pregnant, and I had short-term disability, so I did come out of work. But again, I took care of my kids, and I probably was doing way too much when it came to my job. I had a friend who had a sit-down job, and she worked all the way up she had a CERCLAGE, and she worked all the way up until her due date with no problems whatsoever. But again, she had a sit-down job. She wasn't up and down. Moving on, here we are with my fourth pregnancy, third CERCLAGE. I, again, had my CERCLAGE on Tuesday of last week, and on Thursday of last week, I was at the museum with my boys. So Tuesday, I took time to have the surgery and heal. Wednesday, I just rested up to just give my body a little bit more time. But my husband went back to work on Wednesday, so I laid around, but my kids were here, and I still had to give them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I still had to change my 1.5-year-old's diaper. I still had to make sure that they were safe. So they got to watch a little bit more TV than I would have liked. But we still played. We have a playroom. They played more. We went outside, and I sat in the lounge chair outside. I was still a parent, and I planned ahead. I did all of my freezer meals, which I showed in the previous video. So when it came to cooking dinner, all I had to do was throw a bag of food in the crock pot, and voila, it was done. So, but on Thursday, I was tired of being in the house. I knew that my body was, I listened to my body. I took my boys to the museum on Thursday, and we spent 2.5 hours at the Children's Museum having a lot of fun. I didn't have any problems, no bleeding, no spotting, nothing whatsoever. So Friday, we went to the park. Monday, Saturday, my boys have basketball games. I was at the basketball games, and I was sitting on the floor. I forgot my chair. Sunday, I went to church. And then after that, I went and hung out with some friends after church. Monday, I had my doctor's appointment, and that went great. Doctor gave me the okay to, like I said, to go back to exercising. I can walk, I can do yoga, I can do Pilates. He told me, he knew that I didn't work, but he was like, if you work, you can go back to work. But basically, I resumed life like normal. That was exactly what he told me. He said, you go back to your normal life. And that's what I've been doing. He measured my cervix. My cervix is measuring at a 4.5, which is absolutely amazing. Cervix is looking really, really great. And you want it to stay, 4 and 5. You want it to stay like that. Placenta is where it needs to be. Everything looks great. So he told me to be a parent. I took my kids with me to my doctor's appointment, and I've been a parent to them. I do. My husband works from home, but he's working. He's not taking care of kids. He's working. So I do it all, and I don't have family here, so I have no other choice. My hair is just really getting on my nerves. But anyway, I don't have any choice but to just do it. Just take care of my kids. So I wanted you guys to know that, yes, it is a case-by-case scenario. Your doctor may say, no, your cervix is not as strong as I would like it to. You need to take it easy. But that wasn't the case for me. I knew what my body would have to go through in the pregnancy, and that's why we did a preventative cerclage. I got it early enough. If you get an emergency cerclage, your situation could be totally, totally different. It really depends on your situation. But I have had several friends who have had cerclages, who have had major success with their cerclages, who resumed all activity. And you'll be amazed. You get the darn cerclage taken out at 36 weeks or 37 weeks, depending on your doctor. And then you go on to 40 weeks to have a baby. It really does amaze me how the human body works sometimes. So, I wouldn't worry about it. Sometimes worrying and stressing about something that's completely out of our control only makes the situation worse. Lifestyle with my cerclage. I don't have any spotting, I have any bleeding, I have any discomfort. I feel really, really good. Now, with that being said, I can't go out and run a marathon. It's not gonna happen. But I can be very cautious. I can still live a very normal life. I walked to the park today to take my son to soccer practice and turn around and walk home. And I'll do that every Friday. It's great exercise. But yeah, so I hope that helps anyone who's wondering about what their options are with the cerclage. This is strictly my experience, guys, and I want you to understand that yours may be completely different than mine, but this is my experience, and this has been my experience with all three. I have not been on strict bed rest with any of them. No strict bed rest. Modified bed rest for my second one, I was doing way too much, but not strict bed rest. So yeah, talk to you later. Be blessed. Any more questions, feel free to ask me any questions you want to, whether or not you feel it's invasive or not. I get questions all the time, and I do not get offended. I just answer your questions. So talk to you later. Bye.